I have two daughters. They're 6 years apart, and so they're constantly on the lookout to see if one of them might be gaining an advantage over the other, perhaps an unfair advantage. Questions always come up. Why are you letting her do this? Or why are you letting her do that? Why are you letting her stay up late? I always had to go to bed. Why are you letting her keep her phone? I always had to turn mine in. Why aren't you punishing her for doing that the way that you punished me for doing that? Boil it all down, they're really concerned about our consistency. In fact, they probably accuse us at times of being inconsistent. Well, Jonah chapter 4 is expressing that same type of concern. Jonah's, in fact, pretty upset about it. He's angry. He's saying, God, why aren't you unleashing your wrath upon these Ninevites? Yes, they repented, but that's probably temporary. In fact, Jonah was so convinced that their conversion was temporary that he went outside the city, set up camp so that he could watch God strike them down. Well, what's apparent in Jonah chapter 4 and what's apparent in this whole story of Jonah is that Jonah's concern is about Jonah. Now, there was some legitimate concern. Jonah had prophesied doom and gloom for Nineveh, and he might be accused of being a false prophet, for which there were stiff penalties. But what was even more alarming is that Jonah didn't have a great understanding about how great and how wide God's love really is. That God's love could extend beyond the Israelites to even include the Gentiles. So the next time that you find yourself upset about a situation, that you find yourself questioning whether it's really fair or not, or there's being consistency in play, ask yourself these two questions. First, is this anger or this feeling of unfairness about the situation, or is it about me? And then consider the second question. How am I reacting? Am I loving my neighbor as myself? Am I looking for places where I might be able to extend grace to another? I think these two filters might prove to be helpful when you find yourself in that situation. So between now and Sunday, when we talk about Jonah 4, when we unpack that scripture more fully, I invite you to put these filters to work with your kids or with a coworker or with your spouse, and perhaps consider how much you are like Jonah. I look forward to seeing you on Sunday.